Yes, people. Welcome back to the finished article and welcome to another edition of All Things Wrestling. We haven't been on All Things Wrestling for a couple of weeks, so we've got a lot to cover. So I'm going to keep the intro nice and short. I'm going to bring my boy Shaz on. Here he is. Yes, bro, we're good?
We're good, bro. What you say?
All good, bro. All good. We just got a little surprise for all the viewers and everything. We've got a new background that I've been working on. Boom, there it is.
Boom.
Right in your face. Hope everyone likes it. Didn't take too long to make. And it will be edited and updated as we go along. We are going to be using this for all our shows, so you'll see this in the background. And as you can see, the main thing on there is at the bottom, it's got our socials for Facebook and Twitter, and it's also got the YouTube channel. I was going to put the Twitter channel on, but we have decided we're not going to be using that for now. So when we do start using it, I'll put that on there as well. Not the Twitter channel, sorry, Twitch. Apologies. But this show is All Things Wrestling. So a couple of little bits. Big shout out to Adam Page for winning the AEW World Championship at Full Gear. We will be covering the Full Gear card. Big shout out to Roman Reigns and Big E for the match that they had at Survivor Series champion versus champion. I really enjoyed that match. Just a shame that Big E didn't beat Roman Reigns. It was non-title. So I thought Roman Reigns could have lost that and still kept the title. But it's WWE. This is what they're doing. They do what they want in it. But what we'll do, Shaz, what do you want to cover first? You want to do Survivor Series or Full Gear?
I'll tell you what I want to do first. We need to get this going, boys. We need to get this going.
Oh, shit, straight in. My man's chucking it straight on.
Yeah, as Shaz said to me pre-show, he knew I was going to bring this on. I might as well kick this off. So we're going to start off with Survivor Series,
Cool.
as always, because that's the show I grew up watching. It's a shame because I used to watch it for The Undertaker. Now I have to find some other reason to watch it, and I have to say this card didn't disappoint in terms of Roman Reigns and Big E. In fact, Big E for me came of age. He literally stood toe to toe with Roman Reigns.
I really enjoyed this match because I really enjoyed the whole situation with Big E. Like, he won the Money in the Bank, and then he won the title, and now he's going on and he's fighting the big names and winning. So they're trying to build him up into a good champion, which is good. The way they could have done that better, though, is by having him beat Roman Reigns in this non-title match. But he still put on a great performance. So
I have to agree. I mean, I do believe that Reigns could have dropped this match because, as Shaz has said, or we know, Survivor Series is not about title changes; it's about brand supremacy. Actually, one thing I want to ask you, Shaz. So, do you remember a few years ago when NXT were also competing in Survivor Series? What happened there? So
so that was just before the coronavirus hit. And the year after, when Survivor Series was last year, they couldn't do it because it would have been integration of all three brands, and they wanted to try and keep them separate to stop the spread of the virus within the business.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, unfortunately, they couldn't have NXT in last year's Survivor Series. But saying that, or the year before, they didn't have it for the past 2 years, I think. But this year, they could have brought it back. They could have had NXT back. But with NXT now, the way it is, I don't think those stars can step up.
No, that's fine. Just thought I'd ask because I really
the stars in NXT now, they are good. Don't get me wrong. You've still got Tommaso Ciampa. You've still got Johnny Gargano, Bron Breakker, who is Rick Steiner's son. I think he's a good wrestler, but he needs more time to develop. Zion Quinn in NXT, I think he's a great talent as well. Legado Fantasma, great stable. A couple of things that we actually do need to cover before we jump onto Survivor Series, bro. Since the last time we've been on, WWE have actually announced 2 sets of budget cuts.
Yeah, I've heard.
So in the first set of budget cuts, they released B-Fab, who was the female valet of Hit Row on NXT. And they just got moved up to SmackDown. So it's quite weird that they got rid of her. But then in the second set of budget cuts, they got rid of Hit Row. And they just got transferred to SmackDown from NXT. So that is really bizarre. I don't know what you think of that, Shaz. I mean, I think in one of the budget cuts we also, I don't know if we covered this, Karrion Kross and his girlfriend, wife, Scarlett, got released as well. So that's quite bizarre as well because they built him up so big in NXT.
Yeah, I think that was quite shocking because I remember a few weeks ago, I know I hadn't been on the podcast for a while, you sent me a list of release stars and I was like, one of them was obviously Karrion Kross, and then the other being obviously what's his name?
Keith Lee.
Yeah, Keith Lee. Yeah.
So yeah, Keith Lee got released as well. It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's absolutely crazy. There's two sets that we've missed that we haven't covered. I'm just trying to bring up the list now. So I think this is the right one. Yeah. So Ashanti Adonis from Hit Row, Top Dollar from Hit Row, Drake Maverick got released again.
Yeah.
John Morrison's got released. He's the biggest name in there. Tegan Knox got released. Jackson Riker got released. Isaiah Swerve Scott, the other member of Hit Row, and Shane Thorne, Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, Nia Jax. They've all been released.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. And what you call it? Frankie Monet. She was just new there, but she's the I think she's the girlfriend of John Morrison in real life. WWE just went on a sick budget cut release of 2 rounds since we were last on All Things Wrestling, and that's crazy because they're letting people go in. Just these people put on shows in empty arenas for WWE during the pandemic, and now they're just getting rid of them. It's just mad.
It's crazy, bro. But
it's mad.
That's kind of my the trend hashtag Vince out. But
yeah, exactly. That's why that hashtag's there, people. That's why that's there. So another thing I wanted to obviously go through is this whole Cleopatra's Egg thing on Survivor Series and Raw. So if people don't know, it's from the movie Red Notice with The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gail Gadot on. I've seen the movie. It's a decent movie, but they shouldn't have this in WWE. It's just mad. So someone stole Vince McMahon's Cleopatra Egg, which is apparently worth $100 million. And Vince announced that whoever finds it and brings the culprit to him gets a WWE Championship title shot against Big E at the end of Raw.
Why not Roman Reigns?
Yeah, no, it was on Raw. So,
okay,
right. One of them. So, Sami Zayn knew who stole it. So, Sami Zayn brings in Austin Theory. Austin Theory said he stole it just to take a selfie with it. And then Vince McMahon gives him the title shot over Sami Zayn, which is just bizarre. Bro, this is WWE booking for you. It's absolutely crazy. But let's not talk about all that crap, bro. Let's get to Survivor Series. The kickoff show, we saw Shinsuke Nakamura, Intercontinental Champion, taking on Raw's United States Champion, Damien Priest. Bizarre ending. Damien Priest just went sick.
Yeah, he lost it.
Smashed the guitar, smashed it into Shinsuke's face and lost the match. I don't know why they went down this route. I think it's to show another side of Damien Priest. Maybe he's turning heel. We'll have to see. We'll have to see on that. We will have to see on that. It was a good match until the end. I thought that it could have ended with a clean win for Damien Priest over someone like Shinsuke. Would have done wonders for his career. But maybe Shinsuke didn't want a job to him. Maybe that's why Shinsuke won the way he did.
Yeah,
but it was crazy. It was crazy, bro.
I mean, I enjoyed this match that we're gonna touch upon. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. That their rivalry goes way back.
It goes way back to NXT, doesn't it?
NXT, and I thought these two hashed it out really well. In fact, we saw a side of Becky Lynch we hadn't seen in a while. She literally brought the emotion out in this one. Took it to Charlotte Flair. and just brought it back in.
Yeah, no, you're right, bro. It was. I mean, like I said, these two have been feuding since NXT days, and they always put on good matches. The fans seem to enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those matches that on the card it's going to do well because it's it's these two. The next match was the men's Survivor Series elimination match. So Team Raw was Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, and Bobby Lashley with MVP.
That's controversial. You saw what Rollins did to
yeah. So the SmackDown team consisted of Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin, and Sheamus with Madcap Moss in the corner for Happy Corbin.
Did you
straight off the bat, Kevin Owens walked out on his team.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat, he got in the ring, said, "I'll start," just walked off, got himself counted out, lost. Got eliminated straight away. It was a decent match. I would have expected Raw to have more survivors than just one. They had a sole survivor, which is fine. Seth Rollins was a sole survivor. He's the obviously next opponent for Big E at the next pay-per-view, which we're going into, as I think it's called Day 1 on the 1st of January. I don't think there's another pay-per-view until then, unless there's one in December that hasn't been announced yet. After this on Raw, Seth Rollins absolutely destroyed Finn Balor, which I don't understand why, because they built Finn Balor up on NXT to be a badass. And then Seth Rollins did what Finn Balor does to people to him. It's just mad. Now, they've just made Finn Balor look like a little bitch again. And I'm just sick of it because Finn Balor is amazing. He should be.
You know what? I'm kind of hoping Finn Balor heads to AEW.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't even care if he goes to AEW. As long as he's not in WWE, I'm fine with it. If he goes back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. But what I would like to see is him come back into the fold with the Elite or the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Because he was the original leader. Now, if he goes to AEW, he could bring Gallows and Anderson with him, who are two of the first members of Bullet Club. That would be absolutely amazing to see.
No, it would.
I don't know if we'll see it because I can't remember when Finn Balor's contract's up, but I hope we do see that because it will be good to see. Next match was just a battle royal.
Yeah, almost.
Apparently, it was The Rock's 25th anniversary, 25-man dual branded battle royal. So it has some huge freaking name in tribute to The Rock. No idea why this battle royal, the winner doesn't get jack shit. Almost won by eliminating Ricochet.
Just to fill the card, they're like, how do we pass time?
No, but if they didn't have that match on the card, they could have given some of the other matches more time.
Yeah.
So this is the problem with WWE. They put too many matches on a card, and that means that each match has to be smaller because then they have promos as well in between. It's just crazy.
The next
match, go for it, Shaz. I'll let you bring up the next match.
The next match was one that I enjoyed. RK Bro defeating Smackdown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. So that was
brilliant match, man. Brilliant match.
I enjoyed
the ending was really good. The RKO whilst Jimmy Uso went for the Uso splash. That was really good finish. Now I don't know if you've seen Raw, but did you see what Riddle did on Raw? Dressed up as Randy Orton.
Yeah, I saw that.
That is bizarre, man. That is just some crazy shit, man. That is crazy. It reminds me of The Miz and Damien Sandow, where Damien Sandow used to be his stunt double or whatever.
Yeah.
But Mizdow, that's what he was called. He pulled it off so much better. It's funny to watch, but it just they're the Raw Tag Team Champions. They're not being taken seriously with this shit, man. They're not being taken seriously. There's other tag teams in WWE on Raw that probably deserve the tag team championships over Orton and Matt Riddle. I mean, they're both better as single competitors, if you ask me.
Yeah.
The next match we went into was the Women's Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series match. We had Team Raw, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina. Queen Zelina, sorry. They beat Team SmackDown Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natalya, and Toni Storm. I think there was a sole survivor in this as well, wasn't there, Shaz?
Yeah.
And I don't even know who it was. Was it Bianca Belair? I can't remember.
Yeah, Bianca Belair basically was the last last person standing.
There we go, peeps.
Bianca Belair, for me, I think is one of the standout performers. I mean, before she lost the title to
Becky Lynch when we watched it live all night.
We saw
that shit show, bro.
That was crazy.
It was, bro. Yeah, that was just mad. Watching that when it was just crazy. The next match was the main event of the night. SmackDown's Universal Champion, the head of the table, your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, taking on Big E from the New Day, who is the WWE Champion over on Raw. And like I said at the top of the show, this was a brilliant match. From start to finish, I enjoyed it. I just thought Big E could have won this match and Roman Reigns could have kept his credibility because he'd still be the head of table over on SmackDown. He still has the championship belt. I would have liked to have seen the Usos come in and maybe attack Big E, and then the New Day come in and attack Roman Reigns, and the match end as a draw or a double disqualification or something like that. And then maybe the next match you have the Bloodline versus the New Day. I thought that would have been bad because I've always wanted to see the Bloodline versus the New Day 3-on-3. And now is the perfect time. This would have been the perfect time to set that in motion because you had Big E versus Roman Reigns, and you've had the Usos attack Usos attack Big E, and then you've had New Day attack Roman Reigns.
Yeah, exactly. I think if Kofi wasn't injured, they would have seen that. I think he got taken out a few weeks ago. Probably saw that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I enjoyed that.
So that was the review of WWE Survivor Series 2021. Now I'm going to ask you, Shaz. I'm going to put you on the spot here. What was your favorite match on the card?
Well, probably the one that we've just talked about, Roman Reigns versus Big E.
I was going to say that as well, bro. To me, that was the standout match.
I think I liked the bit where Reigns was about to go for a spear, and Big E just stood straight face to face in front of Reigns. I don't know if you saw that moment. He was literally just did his trademark howl.
Yeah, and then Big E just got up and stood right in his face.
I was like, bit that just shook.
It was brilliant. The match start to finish, the way they booked it was brilliant. Like I said, I gave my thoughts on how I think that should have gone, but hey, this is WWE. We can't get everything we want from them. So 10 out of 10, Shaz, what would you give Survivor Series based on what we've just covered?
Probably, and I'm being kind when I say this, probably a 6 out of 10.
Wow. Bro, I'd probably give it a 5 or a 6 as well. And that's just because
I think that thing that crawled it over the line was obviously Big E and Roman Reigns. Otherwise, that was a definite 5 for me.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. What lost it numbers for me was the whole thing with the Cleopatra's egg, because that's got nothing to do with WWE. I get they were helping The Rock with promoting the movie, but there's other ways they could have done it, and it was just I don't know what the word is. It was just not needed on Survivor Series of all places. Maybe on Raw or SmackDown, but not on Survivor Series.
Correct, yeah.
But we've covered WWE, so we've saved the best till last. We're going to go straight into AEW Full Gear. I always look forward to a AEW pay-per-view. They're always really good. And this one didn't disappoint. We'll jump straight in. We had a tag team match to open the show. Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose. Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa won. Well, it was pretty fair. A long match, 12 minutes. I mean, WWE don't give their matches that much time. The women's... So Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair had an 18-minute match, but the Raw Women's Survivor Series match was only 23 minutes compared to the men's, which was 30 minutes. So there's always a difference in the amount of time they give the matches.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't really watch this match. I think it was on the pre-show, to be fair. I didn't watch the pre-show or the buy-in, as they call it over in AEW. Second match, this was a match that I was looking forward to. MJF versus Darby Allin. I think they're both great wrestlers. MJF's one of the best heels in the business, bar none. On the mic, he's brilliant. Did you watch this match, Shaz?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch this match.
Okay.
Well, I watched the highlights, brief highlights.
Okay, cool.
So Allen's when I was impressed with the way he went about it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, MJF won by a pinfall over Darby Allin. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. I thought maybe Darby Allin should have won, but I get why MJF has won, because I don't think MJF has been pinned or submitted in AEW for like God knows how long, like months, years. Third match on the card was the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. The Lucha Brothers, Penta El, Sarah Almeida, and Rey Fenix taking on FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
The Lucha Bros held on to their titles, but it was a great match. I always like watching Rey Fenix. Some of the stuff that he does in the ring is just insane. Put him in the ring with another tag team like FTR, who are really good in-ring workers, and you get some magic, which we got today. Well, not today, but on this show. What did you think of that match, Haz? Did you watch the highlights on that?
Yeah, no, it was a good match. I enjoyed that. And I said, like you said, they saved the best for last. So if you compare Survivor Series with Full Gear, I think you're definitely getting a lot more value for money with Full Gear. There's a lot more end-to-end, and the storylines are a lot better told.
Yeah, 100%.
Wrestling's a lot better.
No, 100%. You're right there, bro. So the next match was the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament Final, where the winner receives a future AEW Championship match. The final was Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, taking on Miro, who replaced Jon Moxley because Moxley is taking time off to go to rehab for alcohol addiction. So shout out to him. Hope he does recover quickly, and I hope we see him on AEW, very quickly, because he's always really good to watch.
Yeah.
On to the match. Bryan Danielson, Miro, it is what it is. It is what it was. I still can't understand why Miro lost his TNT championship to Sammy Guevara. Look at the size difference in the people just involved in there. I think Miro should have carried on as TNT champion, maybe gone on to win the Eliminator tournament, and eventually win the championship and be a dual champion. That would have been the first AEW dual champion holding both titles at the same time. I think that would have been really good. I get why it's Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call the guy. He's come over to AEW. He's their hottest draw at the moment. He's undefeated. He's gone toe-to-toe with Kenny Omega and had a draw, and he's won all his other matches. So I get why they don't want him to lose a match just yet. But what I do want to see is obviously him face Adam Page, who's now the AEW champion, and Adam Page actually beats him. I want Adam Page to be the first one to give him a loss. I don't want Daniel Bryan to now go into the next pay-per-view and take the title from Adam Page, because that will make Adam Page look weak as a champion. It'll make him look.
No, I think you know what? It's actually tactical that they've got Bryan Danielson going to the final, because he will put over Adam Page, because he's been in
that's what happens. I'm hoping that's what happens, Shaz, right? Yeah. But this is bizarre wrestling in it, bro. So
it's bizarre, but I have more faith in AEW than I do with WWE. So,
oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy AEW, but sometimes some of the decisions that they make, I'm always 100% behind it. But I get why they've done it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Next match was 3-on-3 Falls Count Anywhere. Christian Cage teaming with Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. against the super clique of Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. This was a good match. It was Falls Count Anywhere. I was quite surprised that the super clique lost. I would have expected them to win this match. But saying that Adam Cole is still undefeated, he's not been pinned or submitted as a singles competitor, so it doesn't really matter. It was a good match, back and forth, a lot of action, a lot of spots. What was your take on this one, Shaz?
I know I enjoyed this. I thought it was a good fight. Enjoyed the end-to-end battle between these guys. I love the fact that these guys had great chemistry, and made for a good fight in the end.
Yeah, no, definitely. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they won with a concerto to Matt or Nick Jackson.
Yeah, correct.
So Christian Cage bringing the old school stuff back, which is really good to see. Next, I don't understand why this match took place at Full Gear. It wasn't a really big match.
Cody Rhodes
teaming with the Bastard Pac to take on Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. Don't get me wrong, it was a great match. I enjoy watching Pac, and I enjoy watching Malachi Black, and I enjoy watching Idolo and Cody Rhodes. So it was a great match to watch, but I don't think it had that much of a story behind it to be on Full Gear. But saying that, they had a 4-on-4 on AEW Dynamite. Cody Rhodes, Pac, and the Lucha Bros versus FTR, Idolo, and Malachi Black. Amazing match. 4-on-4. That was amazing. But this match, Cody Rhodes and Pac won, which I'm really happy to see. So I don't know if you know, Shaz, but Pac is one of my favorite wrestlers right now. Across all promotions, Pac has always been one of my favorites. Even when he was in WWE as Adrian Neville, I still loved him, even though he was heel. His best run in AEW was when he was heel as the Cruiserweight champion.
Okay.
He should never have lost that title, if you ask me. He should never have lost that. But yeah, Pac's always been one of my favorites since his WWE days as Adrian Neville. What were your thoughts on this match, Shaz?
Surprisingly, this was one match I didn't actually get to watch. I need to watch the highlights back on it.
Oh, right, okay, cool. No problem.
I've heard it was a good match from what people
100%, bro. You'll like it when you watch this one. You'll like it, bro.
The next one was my favorite. So CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
That wasn't the next match, bro. That's not the next match. The next match was Brit Baker versus Taconte for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Okay, I must have a different link.
I think you've got a different link. Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, just send it on the chat. I'll bring it up. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. No, sorry, bro. Brit Baker versus Taconte for the Women's Championship was the next match on the card. Obviously, as we know, Brit Baker's still champion, so she won by a pinfall over Taconte. Standard, Brit Baker's just been made to look very dominant as champion. There's not many out there that can say that they beat her. But saying that there is another women's championship coming into play at the moment, there's a tournament for it, the TBS Championship. So that's going to be interesting to see. What were your thoughts on this one, Shaz?
Well, it wasn't bad. I mean, it's definitely got flavor to live up to future billing. But we'll have to see how it goes from there.
Yeah, no, definitely. So the next match is the one that you said, Shaz. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. Yeah, this was a brilliant match. Again, I loved it. I love watching it. CM Punk's return. He just gets better and better.
I literally watched this pay-per-view for that match because that's the build-up.
It's a brilliant match, bro. It was a brilliant match to watch. I absolutely love watching CM Punk since his return. His first match back against Darby Allin, and then he's obviously continued to wrestle regularly. He's just getting better and better, and you can feel that he's getting back into that groove of what he was like back in WWE. So it's going to be interesting to see. His next opponent looks like it's going to be MJF. Their little promo that they had, bro, on Dynamite this week was absolutely crazy. So last week on Dynamite, CM Punk interrupted MJF, and MJF introduced himself as Maxwell, put his hand out. CM Punk just looked at it and walked off. So CM Punk didn't even do anything. He came out, interrupted him, I just walked off. This week, though, before Punk's match versus QT Marshall, CM Punk was on the mic, got interrupted by MJF, and they had a war of words, bro. I'm not even joking. MJF brought up the "you can't see me" guy as John Cena. CM Punk called him what was it? A lower version of the Miz or something like that. They went back and forth, bro. They went crazy on the mic. You need to watch that promo, Chaz. That's one of the best promos I've seen in a long time. And as they're talking and they're saying these things, you're like, oh shit, can they say that on TV? Because CM Punk actually mentions the Miz, right? But when MJF's talking, he doesn't actually mention John Cena. He's saying that you're always second best to the guy who you can't see. And he says, you should come out here. He basically called CM Punk an ass kisser and said that you should actually be coming out here saying hustle, loyalty, and respect. It just went crazy, that promo, bro. You need to watch that, bro. It's on YouTube somewhere. You need to watch it. Let's get back to the match. Sorry. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. Again, they had some great promos before this match as well. And the match itself was really good. Obviously I knew CM Punk was going to win. I don't think he's going to be losing anytime soon. They're gonna milk him for as much money as they can with wins. When he loses, it's going to be a big one, like the Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. It's going to be one of them type of shock moments AEW are going to give us.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this match. I mean, this is pretty much the reason why I watched the pay-per-view.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not ashamed to say it.
No, bro. People watch, like, take this for instance, Man City versus PSG in the Champions League. When have Man City ever sold out the Etihad Stadium? Never. But for PSG versus Man City, it was sold out because of Messi. People went there to see Messi, whether they're a Man City fan or a PSG fan or a fan of another club, they went there to see Messi. So it doesn't, you watch the match, you watch the pay-per-view for that match in that same way that people watch Messi for that match.
No, that's true. Yeah, no, great match. Enjoyed it, went back and forth. Can't really complain. I mean, looking forward to see what happens. Like you said, if he fights MJF, I'm going to check out that promo after we go.
To be fair, though, I'm going to be really shocked to see if CM Punk beats MJF, because MJF's been undefeated for a very, very long time in AEW. And CM Punk at the moment is what, 7-0, 8-0, something like that. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they do fight who wins, or it could just could just go down as a draw, like Omega and Bryan Danielson did. But we'll move on to the next match. I don't understand why this match was just before the main event. This match should have been further up, further at the start of the card, and some of the other matches should have been further, like towards the end. But we'll get into that later. We had the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana and Ortiz take on Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, Men of the Year, and 3 members of American Top Team, Junior Dos Santos, Andrea Orlovsky, and Dan Lambert. Obviously, the Inner Circle won in a 20-minute Minneapolis street fight. So this is what I hate about wrestling. It's a street fight, right? But what they do is, whichever town they're in, they put that name before it and call it a Chicago street fight, Minneapolis street fight. Or if they're in Manchester, it's going to be a Manchester street fight. But they never make it to the freaking streets anyway. So just call it a Falls Count Anywhere match, innit? Unless they're actually going to the streets.
I know.
But it was a good match. It was back and forth. And, Inner Circle won, as you expected. This was their first match as a group since they beat the Pinnacle. I think it was a couple of months back. So it was a good match. Jericho pinning Dan Lambert, he runs American Top Team in MMA, basically the big fat dude. I don't really like him I don't even know why he's in AEW, but hey, it is what it is, isn't it, bro? What were your thoughts on that match, Shaz?
Yeah, again, I think this is just an appetizer before the main event. It's almost like you said, they just tried to fit this in because they needed a bit of a breather.
Yeah, I just think that this match should have been maybe further up the card, and maybe the tag team title match should have been before the main event. It's just the way I see pay-per-view is that you have all the matches that don't have a title first, and then you have all the title matches after. Because the title matches should be the main events.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a crescendo of matches before the main event. So
exactly, bro. Exactly. So, and I know sometimes what the WWE do is the first hour they have some good some matches, and then they'll have a title match, and then they'll have some more matches and another title match at the end of each hour. And I just think it's bizarre because people there to watch the title matches. So if you're putting those title matches on first, they're not really going to take interest in anything else.
No, that's true.
But, you know, I'm not a booker for AEW or WWE, you know. I don't get paid to do that shit. So, you know, these are just my opinions, people. But after this, we had the main event. Adam Page, the Hangman Adam Page versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. This match lasted 25 minutes. And these two are both really good in ring wrestlers. Really happy that Adam Page won. I was expecting it when he came back and won the Casino Battle Royal. I knew he was going to go on to win the title because he's been there before. He lost to Jericho in the title tournament when they announced the first title holder, which was Jericho beat Adam Page to become the first AEW champion. And I think it was last year, Adam Page lost to Kenny Omega in the world title eliminator tournament. And then Omega went on to win it from Jon Moxley. But this time, Hangman Adam Page did the business. He went out there, he beat Kenny Omega, and it was quite interesting to see because the Young Bucks were at ringside, and it looked like at one point they were going to interject and help Kenny Omega win, but they just stood back and they just looked at Adam Page and nodded like, yo, it's your time, bro. It's your time.
Yeah,
because you got to remember they're all good friends, or they were part of the elite, and Adam Page left. And now that he's come back and won, it was, you know, icing on the cake, innit? And now Kenny Omega on the next episode of Dynamite said he's going to take some time out. And it was a good promo because you had Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega's he's basically saying you need to hold down the fort. And it looks like he's saying it to Adam Page, but he's actually saying it to the Young Bucks. So Adam Page comes in, oh yeah, don't worry, man. I'll look after. I'll take reins. And then he's like, Omega's like, oh, I wasn't really talking to you. I was talking to these two. It was really interesting because I see there's going to be a power struggle between Kenny Omega and Adam Cole. There's definitely going to be a power struggle, and the Young Bucks are going to have to pick a side. And I've got a feeling they're going to stick with Kenny Omega. Adam Cole's got Bobby Fish in his corner, and eventually I see Kyle O'Reilly from NXT joining them too as the new Undisputed Era in AEW, but obviously they can't use that name.
Yeah,
and another promo that they cut, he had Bobby Fish talk to Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, and he came out and he was about to say, and that's undisputed. He was about to say it, but the Young Bucks cut him off and said, you can't say that here. It's really funny because they use these references to WWE and their old characters and things like that. And it makes it really interesting and edgy and funny, but you never see WWE do anything like that.
But what they're doing is basically taking the piss out of the brand. So
exactly. It's so funny to watch because they're taking the piss out of WWE, but they're also mentioning this character's old like storyline or gimmicks and stuff, and it's really interesting, man. It's refreshing to see someone's got the balls to do it, basically.
No, that's true.
So, yeah, man, I really enjoyed this show, man. Like talking about wrestling is really, it's always fun, bro. It's always fun.
No doubt, I enjoyed it, man. I know it was short and sweet. I know we've got other things to say, but it's good to get on back on.
No, definitely, bro. We'll be back tomorrow with all things football. We're going to cover the Premier League fixtures for this week coming. game week 13, I believe it is. Apologies to anyone that was trying to tune in to Fergie time yesterday. We both had other things to do and just a conflict of timing, basically. We couldn't both get on together and do it, so we decided to cancel that show. But we will be back with more episodes, hopefully on a daily basis. We're trying to get back into that routine after a couple of weeks off, so just bear with us. We will be back to full swing in the coming weeks. Saturday, I believe, Shaz, we've got the final cut, and we are going to be talking about 8 Mile, as Shaz has already announced that.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy 8 Mile, if you want to hear us talk shit about it, if you want to hear our thoughts on it, tune in on Saturday. But tomorrow, all things football, we will be back. We're going to be previewing all the Premier League fixtures. So until next time, appreciate everyone tuning in. The socials are at the bottom over here somewhere. So follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, go to YouTube and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be back with another episode for you tomorrow. I'll leave it to Shaz with his final thoughts, and then we'll end it.
As always, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Great show again. Great to be back on with Shaz, covering all things wrestling. But until next time, take it easy, guys, and we'll see you soon.